What's up, guys? Good evening and welcome to Roma Theory. In history, there were William the Conqueror, Ivan the Terrible, and now Gasperini the Pragmatic. How about this? Grinding results without being spectacular, but managing to enter the October break as first in the league table alongside Napoli. It deserves respect. Whether it's just a matter of luck or not, this first month or a bit more, month and a half of football, deserves respect. And this is what I want to talk about today. This is what I want to speak about today. I want to focus on this element of pragmatism that maybe we're not used to coming from a manager like Gasperini, but this genius move of adapting, which I think is, up to now, definitely a winning recipe. A lot of things to go through. Of course, this international break, guys, I can't do this. I really can't. I absolutely despise these breaks, especially because I'm so hyped at the fact that we're entering the big game. Like, when was it? Can somebody please remind me? When was the last time we played a direct encounter like the one that we have in 2 weeks against Inter, being first in the table? Again, it's still early and we're not going to win the league. It's still very early days, but just the adrenaline of playing such a game with the responsibility of being first in the league, it's something that we haven't experienced in a very long while. And yeah, this break is absolutely stupid. I hate them. I absolutely hate them. But I guess there were positives to take from this break. Update, by the way, Wesley did not end up going to Brazil because he got a little injury in yesterday's game. It's nothing major, but he decided not to leave for the Brazilian national team. And stay in Rome, which is good news for us. But a lot of players did leave, actually. I corrected myself after yesterday's match reaction, where I said that a few players were going to leave. Quite a lot of players are leaving, actually, now that I think about it. But yeah, look, if you haven't already, do hit the like button. 100 likes on this video would be great. By the way, we're getting very close to 16.8 subscribers. So we're like 10 subscribers away. So if you can hit the subscribe button if you haven't yet subscribed, or if you want to bring your families and friends along, it would be very much appreciated. Pop questions in the chat. We're gonna go chilled tonight. Chill mode on. Already a few questions. I'm gonna read them at the end, but pop them in the chat. Whether it's something related to the video topic or not, this is the moment to shine, my friends. We're first in the table entering the pumpkin season. Pumpkin and spook season as first in the table. I'm not sure how long this will last. I'll be honest. I'm not sure how long this will last because, as I mentioned earlier, there's an element of luck to this. But one thing that I'm happy about is that, just like Gasperini said yesterday post-match, nobody is giving credit to us. And this is something that you don't blame them for. We're not playing amazing football. There's a large element of luck right now. But we're up there. And the fact that nobody is giving us credit, and the fact that, of course, the media is so northern-centered that they lick the asses of Inter Milan and Juventus and absolutely never share some positive words for us, I like because it means that we have no we have no pressure whatsoever. The pressure is literally in the hands of Napoli, in the hands of Inter, in the hands of Milan, in the hands of Juventus. And the fact that the media never shares positive words for us is something that actually I quite like. But now that we're first in this break, don't lick our asses, please. You've never licked our ass before. Now that we're suddenly, all of a sudden, yes, okay, it won't last long, but now that we're first in the league with Napoli and in the table with Napoli, please don't start licking our ass. You either licked our ass ages ago in the darkest of times, or don't you dare lick our ass now. I don't want my ass to be licked by this northern-centered media biased. Look, like, we're acting on the present and it's fair, but realistically speaking, we probably are the team which deserve it the least out of all up there. But that's something that I really could not give an absolute damn. We grind, and in football you have to grind. Literally, Mourinho won a treble grinding results. I know football has changed, but there are merits that we deserve, absolutely. There are merits that Gasperini deserves, absolutely. Because yes, our football is not spectacular. Yes, our tactics aren't Gasperinian. Yes, our strikers are absolutely terrible right now. Yes, there are problems to solve, but we're winning games. And as far as I'm aware, that's what you need to do in football, no? So whether you win 5-0 or 2-1 with a lucky goal, it's equally as important. But this is where I want to bring this topic to. It's the topic I want to discuss today. Post game yesterday, with an international break in front of us. Tomorrow it's going to be a very fun video. I filmed it today. I'm going to edit it, and tomorrow it will be there. So today it's a chilled chat. Why do I call Gasperini the pragmatic? Well, because up to now he's shown that he's pragmatic. And I think one thing that people aren't giving him credit for is the fact that he, up to now, has adapted. And this is not easy to do if you're somebody like Gasperini. Gasperini has done a genius move up to now. Will it last? I'm not sure. Will he continue doing this? I'm not sure. But from mid-August to the 6th of October, there's one thing that Gasperini has done, and it's an absolutely genius move. And this thing is adapting to the players. I will always repeat this. Bellaneno. I will always repeat this because it's so important. Why didn't the Juric period work out, and why did Juric eventually get sacked? Because Juric came in as an interim manager because he was never going to stay, without a summer transfer window centered on him because it was centered on De Rossi. Juric came in and he wanted to make the players adapt to him. And that's something that you simply cannot do. Sometimes in football, the best managers are not the managers which come in, revolutionize, and it takes time for these. It takes time to revolutionize. And sometimes when you want to revolutionize, you can have rejection periods. You can have rejection crises of players really rejecting your revolution and starting to play a bit against you. So the smart thing that Gasperini did is exactly this. It's this concept of, I come in. This transfer session, yes, was centered to him, but he wasn't massively backed in this transfer session. He really wanted Wesley, yes. And I believe he wanted the gamble on Ferguson. Other than that, the other players were not first picks. We don't know that El Enawi wasn't a first pick because Richard Rios was a pick. We don't know how much he wanted another striker, and he didn't want Dovbyk, and we don't know how much he wanted a left winger. So yes, this transfer session he was backed in, but he wasn't really massively backed in it. So he came in knowing that already the fans don't like you initially. So you don't have much time. You need to be smart. The team is coming from an incredible run with Ranieri, and that incredible run consisted of grinding results out. Gasperini comes in and goes, well, you know what, guys? I want these things. I want high press, I want high intensity, I want fast transition, I want everything. But I can understand that we can't achieve this immediately. So initially, I'm going to adapt to you. You tell me your best positions, you tell me your best characteristics, and you tell me how we can fit everything together. And this is a massive credit that you need to owe this man. Because it's why, because I 100%, I would have never predicted us to enter the October break as first in the table whenever Gasperini was appointed. Because I thought Gasperini comes in and he needs time. He needs time to work on his tactics. He needs time to implement these tactics. He needs time. And in order to achieve this, we're going to lose games because the players are going to have little mental issues and mental crises. They're going to have rejection periods. It's going to be a long process. We're going to start off very wobbly. And no, we're not perfect because nobody can be perfect. We weren't perfect last season. We aren't perfect now. But what what he's done, which is genius, is he's adapted to the players. And this is and this is what I think proves to you a great manager to somebody who has his ideas, but then having ideas is very different to managing to implement your ideas. So again, this is what I said. I mean, this team is still very Ranieri-like, but it's not like, oh yeah, Gasperini didn't do anything. It's all Ranieri's merit because Ranieri set up these players. Gasperini came in. No, it's not something that you take for granted. And of course, there were things that he wants. It's not like he came in and went, well, you were perfect with Ranieri, just do whatever he asked. I'm going to sit here and take all the merit. No, because you can tell that on the touchline he gets mad at things that he wants to see and that we don't do. You know, he wants to see some things. Absolutely, he wants to see some elements of his credibility because otherwise he wouldn't be here. So he wants to see some things and we need to keep on working with them. But the base is the base of a manager who is adapting and who is making himself available and adapting to the players. And that, in my opinion, is so important, which is why we're grinding results. So if you ask me, well, Simo, in these first 1 month and a half of football, from the Bologna game to the Fiorentina game, what do you rate Gasperini up to now, performance-wise and result-wise from 1 to 10? Well, I give you a solid 8. I give you a solid 8. And I'll tell you one thing, had we won that Lille game, or even equalised that Lille game without that 3-penalty horror show, I would have even given this a 9. Because ironically, we've lost the easiest game in the league. That's very ironic. We've won every game and we lost the easiest one. But as I said many times, the Torino game is a game that, trust me, it's crazy to say this, but it's so much better that we lost that game. Had we won that game and we had entered the derby with 3 consecutive wins on our back, we would have lost the derby, or at least we wouldn't have won it. And then backed it up with a win in Nice, backed it up with a win in Verona, then the slip up against Lille, terrible game. That was the worst game by far, because if the Torino game we lost, we tried, we were also unlucky. The Lille game was the worst one. The Lille game is the game which kind of drops the Lille game is effectively the game which doesn't make me give it a 10 out of 10 up to now, because otherwise it would have been a 10 out of 10. That Lille game was disastrous on every point of view. So I'm gonna give it an 8. And I don't think it can be lower than an 8. Because he came in with a shit transfer session. I'm sorry, but I'm gonna say it again, it was a shit transfer session. And he's winning. And he's first. What do you want more? Like, what the hell do you want more? So, again, long way to go. The next span before the November break is going to be very complicated because we play both the Milan teams. We've got tough games in Europe, and we've got Udinese, which is always a sneaky game. So the next slot of games before the November break is going to be very crucial to kind of keep this proficiency and consistency of statements going. But up to now, I mean, we're not perfect. I will never use the word perfect with Roma because we're never perfect. We will never be perfect. But we're very solid. And okay, we've got limitations because we do. But I say to you, as I said last week, we're first in the league table with a lot of problems, with a sterile pair of strikers, with Dybala, who missed a lot of these games, and with Bailey, who still hadn't played 1 minute. So I'm like, if we're first in these circumstances, when we reach all of our goals, when Bailey's back, when Dybala's back fit, hopefully, when Ferguson starts clicking, when Dovbyk maybe starts clicking, when the Gasperinian tactics get assimilated better, then where can we go and what can we achieve? That's the other flip to the coin. If we're first now and we've got a lot of problems still, what if all these problems all of a sudden get cancelled? Where would we be and what can we achieve? So I think Gasperini deserves. But look, I've always said this. Gasperini is a good manager. I had question marks about Gasperini at the very beginning because I didn't know whether the combination between the fan base and himself would work out. But you see, even with results, even your biggest enemy can become your best friend. And I think even the way he speaks, the way he presents himself, the fact that he hasn't been very critical of the players up to now and always congratulated them. These are all things that Gasperini has studied before coming to Rome. And that are characteristics of a manager who knows what to do. He's a good manager. He's a professional. He's a world-class manager. I mean, don't forget, Gasperini changed football in Italy. So I'm so happy to have him as our manager. I will say it again, in the long future, because we're not going to win it this year, but in the long future, if you back this man, he will be the manager of your Scudetto. I'm very convinced about this statement. But you have to back him, and you need to follow him, because he knows what to do. There are managers which don't know a crap, and it's quite frustrating to follow them and back them. But when you have managers like him who know what to do, you only need to back them. And in January, we need to spend a lot of money up front. That's another thing. With a good January window, which adds its quality, that's another thing. What can we achieve? But that's what I think. Right, I'm going to read a few comments. Luca says, do you follow any other Roma creators? If so, who's your favorite? Well, my favorite is I'm really good friends with Tecnica di Base. I mean, they are all Italian creators. I'm literally like the only English one. Yeah, Tecnica di Base, Edo from Tecnica di Base is a really good friend of mine. We promised each other that we're gonna go to an away game together. So, and I must say, yeah, he's my favorite, 100%. Tecnica di Base has Edo from Tecnica di Base has an immense understanding of football. Like, I know a very little amount of people that know ball like Edo from Tecnica di Base knows ball. Like, all of you go and subscribe to his channel. It's in Italian, of course. I'm not sure if he puts subtitles or different versions of the language, but the way he speaks about football, he's unreal. So Tecnica di Base is my favorite, 100%. Other Roma creators, well, I watched some Gabboman clips, but I don't really watch Gabboman. I don't watch Gabboman to understand about football. No disrespect. I watch Gabboman to have a few laughs. Like I don't watch many videos. I just get him on my TikTok at times. But yeah, he's a funny guy. Other than that, there aren't many. Who do we have? On Instagram, we have Ludo and Momo. I also know them. We were the Comave sponsored duo partnership. Yeah, but my favorite one is Tecnica di Base, 100%. I'm biased because he's a good friend, but 100% him. He's the best. What's your second favorite team? Roma, and Roma. No, jokes aside, I don't have a second favorite team. Who I like Chelsea, but I don't support Chelsea. Like, I just watch their games with pleasure, but don't really follow them. Like, I don't care if they win or lose. Do you think being first can cause the players to have pressure and fall off? Well, that's a good point, but we're never first. So we need to use these moments in our favor, to use them as a trampoline effect, to gas ourselves up, to hype ourselves up. And at least with the fans, that's how it works. I'm really looking forward to see Bailey coming back. Love your vids, Simo. Thank you very much, NFT Monkey. I mean, just to think our strikers aren't doing well, and I mean, we're still pulling off wins, even though it's not pretty, but it's something. You forgot Evan got an Ireland call-up. He's apparently injured, something with his ankle, Gasperini said, says Aaron. Thank you very much. Do you think Bailey will have a big impact when he comes back from the bench? I will never be tired of saying this. Leon Bailey can be the game changer, in fact, season changer of this football club. because Leon Bailey has characteristics that nobody in this team has, unless we buy somebody in January. But Leon Bailey will be, if he remains fit, he will be the starting player in this team. Like, he's not going to sit one game out. Bailey and Sule will not miss a game if they remain fit. Absolutely not. Did you see Dovbik's flick for Sule's goal against Fiorentina going under the radar? Yeah, it was a good flick. It was a good flick indeed. Just want to see Ferguson score for Roma and show why 2 years ago he was worth 100 million as an 18-year-old killing it in the Prem. I think if we don't get Dovbik to function, a new striker might be needed. Come stai, frate? Tutto bene? Bella, Nicolas, tutto bene te? Tutto bene. I must say the Prem is far better than Serie A, my personal opinion. Sikwolf, I don't like Sikwolf. Like, nothing against him, I just don't follow his videos. I think the Prem is more physical league. Can you bring back interview translations? The official Roma channel doesn't provide translations to English. Yeah, absolutely. Press conference reactions. I didn't do it for Fiorentina because Gasperini didn't go live. And if I don't do press conference reactions, is because I'm either at the game if they're away. Like in Nice, Gasperini went live, but I didn't go live because I was in Nice. But yeah, I got you covered, don't worry. Any preferences on the left winger in the winter transfer window? Just somebody good with the ball who's fast. Somebody like that. I really don't even care who it is. Chiesa to Roma in the winter window, says Hamza. Well, who knows? But does Slot want him gone? I don't know. Your English is unreal, says Aaron. Thank you, mate. By the way, you want to know an interesting thing, and then I'll end it. I've got I've got uni now. I've got exams to prepare. But in January, when technically, if everything goes well, I have a month off. I wanna I'm looking into starting this 32-hour match analyst course. I think it's so cool to do, and it's recognized by the Italian Football Association, and you get your proper. You have to follow the lessons, and then you sit an exam, and then if you pass it, you get a certificate, which is recognized, and you become a match analyst. I think it's so cool to do. It's so cool to do because I'm moving into an era of kind of my life where I watch football games with not when I'm at the stadium, of course, but when I'm at home. I tend to watch games on a technical and tactical point of view. I jot down things, I start seeing movements, but I really want to develop that. I really want to develop the ability of watching games or getting football clips and actually understanding about the different segments of football tactics. So that's something, and I think it would be number one, it would be very enriching on a personal level. But it would be very enriching also for a match reaction point of view. So yeah, in January, I'm looking into this, but it's something that I would love to do, following a match analyst course, learning how to watch football games, but in an analytical and tactical way. I think it's so cool, so cool. Right, I'm gonna catch you tomorrow. Cool video tomorrow. So click the bell notification button so you'll be notified every time. You'll go live, I go live or post a video. I'll catch you soon. Hit the subscribe. 100 likes would be great. Leave some hype points, thumbs up, everything down below would be great. Supports the channel and the single video a lot. It helps them to push them out as much as possible to grow this community even more. You can help. You can do your part by clicking some buttons down below. And yeah, remember, 10 subscribers away from 16.8k. If we can hit it by tomorrow, it would be great. Speak to you soon. See you.